teacher named Adrian Neibauer at Rolling Hills Elementary in Cherry Creek School District, and I wanted to invite him to take a few minutes to come with us today and speak about the importance of civic education and why it is so necessary in our public schools, and why he really goes above and beyond. And I'd love you to talk about this, Mr. Neibauer, above and beyond in the classroom, taking reading time to even have students introduced to the Federalist Papers and things along those lines. So please welcome Adrian Neibauer.
Thank you. It's going to be hard to follow all these famous people. So like Jim, yeah, I will be, I guess. So like Jimmy said, I teach the 5th grade. I'm a proud teacher. I love being a teacher, and I think arguably 5th grade is probably the best grade because our curriculum is U.S. history, and I get to teach something that I'm very, very passionate about, which is the founding of our country. It's a fantastic grade, and the students, I get to engage their thinking in a way that is so important as they get older. I think that it's important that students, when they leave my classroom, that they become informed, effective, responsible citizens, and the only way to do that is to get them talking about issues that are relevant to their lives. If they don't understand how their democracy works, then they have no desire to participate in it or to try and make it better. And that's what my goal is I want them to always be striving to make our government the best it could possibly be. So for me, I try and make it relevant to them using the Constitution. And Liberty Day has been a fantastic organizer, helping me get primary documents into my classroom, because it's those primary documents that the kids need to see. The kids need to be able to see exactly what was written and the arguments that they had, which was mentioned, the messy process of writing those down, and then figuring out how it's relevant to them. What I love about Constitution Day is that I get to make it fun for them. You know, things like this, they're fun for the kids. We get to come downtown and we get to speak to members of the House in order to engage them in conversations about the Constitution. This is a great example. In my class, when we're studying the Constitution, it's really important for me that they understand where the Constitution came from. So we talk a lot about James Madison and the Federalist Papers, and getting them to read about James Madison and how he felt the Constitution should be written, certain articles that should be put in there. It really is, I think, one of the most important documents that our kids should be able to have access to. And that's what I love about the Constitution Day booklets, the Liberty Day booklets, is that I've got tons of them in my classroom that I give to students all the time. They go home, they quiz their parents, they realize that they're now smarter than their parents when it comes to certain things, which is always a plus, and they feel empowered because they know something that they know is important, and that's really important to me. It's not just useless facts and useless information to be forgotten later. It's stuff that's hopefully really important to them so that they can use it as they get older. One thing that was mentioned here is the idea that the framers of the Constitution weren't perfect. They weren't perfect people by any means, but they came together for a common good, a common cause. And that's what I love. That's how I structure my classroom. We all have our faults. We all have things that we bring to the table, but we can all have an intelligent conversation. And I love working with 5th graders, but really, you can have intelligent conversations about the world around you with anyone. And it's those conversations that really matter, because that's what kids remember when they leave school, when they go off to middle school and high school. Whether or not they decide to pursue politics or pursue anything in government, they still have those memories of having those really civil discussions with adults and other students about their rights and about issues that they feel important. You know, freedom of speech is a really big one for kids. They really want to have the freedom to say what they want to say and think what they want to think. And it's important that I give them the Constitution so that they can see where those things came from. I really, really feel it's important that as kids get older, they realize that if the Constitution isn't protected, like what was said earlier, those rights can be trampled on. And it's important. I don't want to send a bunch of complaining kids out of my classroom, complaining about every little thing, but when appropriate, and that was what was mentioned before, is when it's appropriate, when you feel like your liberties are being tarnished, or when you feel like something is going wrong, you need to be able to have the courage to say something, but also the information to back it up. And that's why I love teaching social studies. That's why I love using primary documents. And that's why I love using Liberty Day's information, because they give it to me right there. I can give it to the kids. The Constitution, it's beautifully when it's on that nice big paper, but it's not very accessible for a fifth grader to put in their binder. But these booklets are. They put them in their back pockets, and they keep them. So I'm very, very happy to be here this morning and just to talk about how important it is for kids to know the Constitution. I can assure you that although it's it's not written for little kids, it's not at a fifth grade reading level, I can guarantee you that the ideas are relevant to them, and they can talk about them just like any adult can talk about them. And you shouldn't have to dumb down the words of the Constitution. You should give them exactly what the Constitution says and let them grapple with it, because that's what kids are good with. They're good with, grappling with tough issues and then coming out the other side feeling like they've accomplished something. So I'm really excited to be here this morning, like I said. So I'll be around if you guys have any questions, but thank you very much. I appreciate it.